bad news, unscheduled maintenance. For those of you who don't know, I drive a 95 Geo Metro to work every day. Its name is Munch. It's a great car. For the first time, it left me stranded today. It just shut off on the freeway. And I did get it home. So I managed to get the timing cover off, or at least take a peek at the timing belt, and it is super loose. So I think it's either broken or the tensioner is broken. Usually that's a dead engine, but from what I'm seeing, everybody's saying this is a non-interference engine. So we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna slap a new belt and see what happens. All right, I got the air cleaner removed and the factory cold air intake. That's where all the horsepower comes from, both of them. Gotta get to the alternator to take that belt off. And as simple as this thing is, it's not that easy to get your hands in here all the time. Got both bolts loose. Trying to move this thing a little bit. There we go. Get this belt off. Looks pretty good. I changed this not long ago. These off. Come on. I hate these little things. I even have the correct tool for it, and I hate them. I'm gonna have to go get the socket to put it at dead center. You know what's funny is the AC actually works on this thing, but I took the belt off because it was making some bearing noise and I thought it was this, but it's not. The compressor works. It just makes a bunch of noise through the bearing, and you can't just buy the bearing. I have to buy the whole system. So I'm not doing that. Clean up these tire marks some. Doing. Alright. So you see the 0 right there. And that's my timing mark. So let's get that 0. Perfect. So the book says I only have to take off those little bolts and not the center bolt if I'm just taking the pulley off and changing the timing belt. I did try to get them loose with a 1/4-inch ratchet, and that did not go well. So now I've got my little impact. Let's see if that makes any difference. That's a good sign. Guess I'm gonna have to turn the crank and get all these out one by one. Well, the book was correct. That did work. Can you spot the problem? That belt is not supposed to be like that. Yep. There's the problem. Timing cover off. Yeah, it's got some belt dust on there. And the belt, as soon as I took the cover off, the belt fell on the ground. There it is. Don't need that one anymore. So since I had to turn the crank to get those screws out, that means it's not top dead center anymore. So I have to put the cover back on, or just kind of loosely put it on with a couple of bolts. Put the crank on. It's got a keyway, so not too far off. I gotta put that back. Ratio. Before I take this back off. Alright, so I gotta time the cam again. You see that timing mark right there? It's gotta line up with that little tab. No, it's not a tab. It's a little divot. And then I can put the new belt on. Alright, fast forward a little bit. Got the new belt on. Getting it over that tensioner is kind of a pain, but it's there. Something I seem to do on old Japanese cars a lot is I cut the timing covers in half. That way, in the future, I can just take this piece off without having to take the crank pulley off. So I can at least look at the belt and look in there. Makes things easier. Did the same thing on my Supra. Alright, got the crank pulley and the timing cover back on. Gonna give it a couple of rotations to verify my timing, which is another reason I cut that in half, because if I have to put that cover on and then put the crank pulley on top of it, how do I check my timing? Well, there's your answer. I cut it off. So while I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and answer the question I know a lot of people are going to ask, because it's the same question everybody asks. What kind of gas mileage you get in that thing? Well, I drive about 35 minutes minimum to work, mostly freeway, and I average about 41. And I know that this car was not built to be going as fast as I do on the freeway. So I'm kind of killing this car. I know that, but it is what it is. All right, got my timing lined up. Let's see where we're at. Got my timing lined up with the little notch. That's the word I was looking for earlier. So we're good. Water pump pulley on. So these things are notorious for belt squeal, and I finally got it tight enough where it stopped squealing by tightening the alternator, but that's not good either, because if you get it too tight, it can kill bearings. So I don't want to do that. So Goodyear used to make these gator back belts. They're more flexible, and they seem to work pretty good for keeping the squeal down. They don't make them anymore. This is a new old stock. It's never been used. It's just been sitting on the shelf a long time, so who knows how long it's going to last. But as far as I know, Continental still makes them. So if you are having an issue with that, see if Continental makes one for your car. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Contact. Oh man, it works. Still good to go. Smooth as butter. What a relief. Oh man, I thought the car was gone. So yeah, it's good to go. I'll put it together. I'm gonna keep driving it. I know I'm killing that car driving on the freeway every day, but it's what I got. So those of you waiting on the satellite, next Friday I'm planning on trying to start it. I will record it, obviously. I've got a lot of footage from checking out the engine and stuff already. I'll put it all together. So that's coming soon. Thanks for watching.